Okay, let's see if we can get this to go live on Facebook at the same time. Here we are. Let's see, it's being live streamed and it's being recorded so I can upload it to the YouTube channel afterwards. And I think, let's see if it's happening. Yes, it's happening. Okay, so what that means is that if you are watching, you can put comments in the Facebook comment section, and I will be able to see your questions or your comments and love you up for that. And yeah, have your company. I'm very thrilled about that. So, okay. Welcome to Thriving Live. It is Tuesday at 2 Eastern time right now, and I made it on in time. I wasn't sure I was going to do my show today. I was in the middle of things, and as you can see, I'm like, yeah, a little bit still in the middle of things. And but it doesn't matter because I decided to take a few minutes to meditate, I guess you could say, to kind of drop in, get quiet, listen to my heart, and find out if I had something to say today. As you may have noticed, I have not been here for a few, wow, it looks like just over a month. Huh. So I didn't realize it was that long. And there's plenty of good reasons for that because I've been extraordinarily busy with some amazing projects. And to be honest, I have also been a little bit unclear about what I want to do with this show, which I've expressed before. And so that's sort of it's been an ongoing thing to try to figure that out. And I haven't given it a lot of thought or time to figure it out, actually. And that is one of the things I'd like to do in the coming weeks, let's say, in the coming weeks. So right now I'm just updating my notes here so that I have my little format, my notes here for you. And I also have notes here because when I went into my meditation just before the show, like 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago, whatever, a lot of ideas came forward that I felt were important to share. So I want to be sure to include those today in that. If you've been with me before, you know that I like to start all our sessions with a little pleasure first, a little grounding activity. And that can happen in any number of ways. And what I usually do is a bit of a guided meditation, a slow down, get present kind of thing. You can do that. I don't have my candle here. I usually light a candle for these shows, but I do have some essential oil. So I'm going to put that on and get like grounded into my senses and a little like hopefully out of my head right now, because I'd like to take us into let you know what the format is for today. Typically, it's a bit of an intro, who I am, what I'm doing, all that. Pleasure first practice that can be 5 or 10 minutes long, and then a topic of the day, a tool of the day, and a Q&A if we were live and you were here with me present on the Zoom, in the Zoom room, which we're not doing today. And then I like to wrap up with wins, insights, learnings. What's your biggest takeaway from today and this session? And then, yeah, and then, you know, I might typically ask you to, you know, sign up for a free call or join my email list or something like that. Although I don't usually have my plan together enough to really get that to happen. Like, to be honest, like I do so many things by the seat of my pants. And I guess I always have done that for the most part, and it's worked out fairly well for me. And however, it has been a desire of mine to kind of change that a little bit. And since, well, I know I'm getting ahead of myself because I haven't done the introduction, I haven't done the all the things. So let's back up a minute. First, I'll do a quick introduction. If you don't already know me, my name is Gabrielle Senza. I'm a creative activist. I'm an artist, a visual and performance artist, a musician, a painter, photographer, a performer. I'm also a coach, an empowerment coach. I love working with humans, with people that are in transition. They might be second guessing themselves. They might be wondering where they're going. They might be doubtful of what they're up to. These are all things that I have definitely experienced quite a bit of in my life. And so, yeah, I love to help people connect to their own innate beauty, their own innate brilliance, and their own innate wisdom. And I love doing that through one-to-ones. I love doing it on formats like this when it's open and people can just come on board and listen or interact or ask questions and get some like laser focused coaching. And yeah, so yeah, just a little more background. I've done this kind of work through one-to-one coaching as well as group programs and live events. Really basically creatively engaging and developing self-empowerment for myself and for others since I guess I'd say 2001. You could say a little bit earlier if you include like opening a gallery and showing other artists' work and creating collectives and things like that. So we could go back to like 1997. Or no, even earlier than that. 1990, holy cow. 1989 was when we started that gallery. Okay, so it's been a long time of opening up opportunities, taking initiative and beginning things with nothing more than really a lot of ambition. And really the lint in my pocket is what I often said, because I never had funding for really any of the projects, any of the big projects that I did in the early days. Later on, I learned how to raise money and do crowdfunding and all that kind of thing. So it's changed a bit. However, the point is, if there's a will, there's a way. And even with no money, many dreams can actually come true. So that's kind of going to be the theme of today. So I'll leave it at that for now. I also have here in my notes that some notes about the kind of people I like to coach and the people who tend to sign on to be my clients. And I'm thrilled to mentor gender non-conforming folks, as well as people who are single, people who are in partnerships, people who are in polyamorous relationships, that these folks that are looking to up-level their relationships to themselves primarily, and their lovers and their passions. And so I am all about that. I love supporting people in that journey, and it has resulted in some tremendously exciting wins and insights and learnings for all of us. So that's my little bit of intro background. Okay, so now we'll settle into the pleasure first practice, which is really for the purpose of grounding and getting to the present. So that in that way we can, my intention is to, both for me to be clear in terms of what it is I have to share, as well as for you who's taking the time to drop into this practice with me, to experience more connection with yourself, with your heart, with your soul, with your inner wisdom, right? Your inner being, instead of up here. What is she saying? What is she doing? What is what's going on out there? Like all that stuff. We want to just kind of close that down for now. It'll still be there. But for this time, the point is to settle in and feel from within so we can get closer to our inner wisdom and our inner voices. Okay. So I invite you, whether you're standing or sitting or lying down, but not if you're driving. If you're doing standing, sitting, or lying down, just allow yourself to get a little bit like heavy, like allow gravity to do its thing. And, you don't have to sit up tight and perfectly upright. You can like just let your shoulders drop, and you can even slump if you want to. There's nothing fancy that you need to do to drop in here. The point is to feel the weight in your bottom if you're in a chair, or in your feet if you're standing, or in all the places that your body might be supported by whatever it is you might be lying down on. Okay, so allowing the gravity, the weight of your body to move to whatever surface is supporting you right now. And in doing that, just begin to slow down your breathing a bit. Notice your breathing, maybe listen for it. Drawing your inhale through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Again, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. And one more time. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. Continue the breathing as slow and as natural as feels comfortable for you. See if you can allow your body and your jaw and your shoulders to soften even more with each breath. Imagine drawing in light and energy and health on your inhales, and exhaling out anything that doesn't serve you, that creates constriction, tightness, any of that kind of thing with your exhale. So again, drawing in light and energy and health. And releasing any tightness, any constriction, anything that no longer serves you. One more time. Okay, great. So just notice how your body's feeling now compared to where it was when we started with the breathing. with allowing ourselves to feel gravity weighting us down into whatever is supporting us. And that the thing that's supporting us is still holding us, it's still completely there for us. It hasn't given way. We are supported here in this moment. And we can allow ourselves to fully be in this moment. We can allow ourselves to hear and experience and smell the other things that are happening in the space around us without engaging with them, just being aware of them. So let's just do that for a couple of moments. Noticing what you can hear, if anything's making its way into your ears. Noticing what comes in as a scent, if there is anything. Noticing what our eyes are able to see, whether they're closed or open, without engaging, just noticing. Noticing body sensations, perhaps where one part's touching another, or just the temperature or some other thing. Just noticing what senses of touch are you aware of. And finally, noticing if there's any taste, any flavors that you're aware of in your mouth. Not engaging with them, making story or judging them, just noticing. Now get present with your heart. Imagine you're sitting in your chest with the heart. You're like the both of you are in this little room. And you can see it just doing its thing, which obviously is pumping blood through your system. You can see it as a cartoon style heart if you want to, or you can see it as the physical, organ that lives inside our bodies, that does its thing without our instruction, without our engagement, without our participation. Just always there, keeping us alive. The same with our breath. We don't have to breathe. We don't have to do anything in order to breathe. Our body just simply breathes itself. So maybe with the next exhale, you can just let out a sigh of appreciation and gratitude for those organs in your body, the parts of your body that just work automatically to keep you alive, to keep you going, simply to be here in this world, in this lifetime. Okay. So what I was noticing, what I was, I don't know how to put it exactly. When I was meditating earlier, the ideas that were coming to me to speak about had to do with a lot of different things. And I hope that you find them helpful for you. Okay, so let's see if I can allow my mind to create a situation in which I can clearly convey these ideas that I want to share with you. Okay, so to begin with, I guess my main theme for today, and if I were to impart any what I consider important messages today, or important ideas to live with every day, is to allow yourself to go out in the world. I mean, that sounds kind of ridiculous. I know, bear with me. What I mean is, of course, there's a lot of doing that we all do, right? That we're all part of in just getting through our daily lives, right? And in our work and in our life and our families and our home and all those things, they all require a lot of things to happen, right? So we're always doing. And the idea here that I'm looking to convey is that how often do you allow yourself to just go out on your own, kind of to see what happens? I guess I could put it that way. So to give you an example from my own life, I have many such examples. I have been, up until recently, I've been single by choice for many, many, many years. And so I would frequently either stay in and keep myself busy, or read or create or make something, or binge watching videos on YouTube or whatever, or Netflix. Well, actually, I never did that during that time, but sometimes I would get this impulse to just go out. And at the time, there was this lovely restaurant up the street called Allium. And so sometimes I would just get the urge to, like, go have dinner there, go sit by yourself, bring your journal, order the amazing kale salad or the pickled onion rings or whatever it was that I was in the mood for. And, maybe a glass of Prosecco, and just be there. Just give yourself that treat, that alone time. And then there would be another part of me that would be like, no, I shouldn't do that. That's kind of weird, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to feel awkward. Especially in the beginning, I would kind of talk myself out of it. However, I learned by actually overcoming that, the doubtful voice, the voice that was trying to protect me and keep me from embarrassing myself or feeling awkward or whatever it was. I learned that each time I did go out, magic would happen. I would meet someone that was like an incredible human to connect with. I would just witness something so beautiful and incredible that I never would have expected. I would find myself in this incredible opportunity being handed to me just because I was right there at that time, right? So by doing so, by getting over the hump of not wanting to go out by myself, I eventually started creating it, like allowing it to be a practice that it's like, oh, I'm getting this sense to do this thing, this sort of calling, my heart saying like, hey, go out and do, go to this event, or go ahead and go have dinner by yourself at Allium tonight. And be like, well, tonight's not the best night, but okay. If it would come up a couple of times cycling through my mind, then I learned to trust it, and that it was okay to trust it and go. And every time, without a doubt, something amazing would happen. Same thing with like performances or something like that. If I chose to go to a performance, and I might have had expectations thinking, oh, it's going to be amazing, and it might not have been amazing throughout, but inevitably there would be one moment, either in the performance or in the whole experience of being in a place outside of my studio where other humans are, that would be the pure magic moment. That would be like, oh, this is why I'm here. It was for that scene right there, or it was for that moment between these people, or this meeting this person was the reason I came out. I guess it wasn't for the movie, or it wasn't for the show, whatever it was, right? So like noticing in every chance, every time that I would go out, that there'd be magic would happen. It seems like magic, but it seems like coincidence. It seems like all these things. The point that I'm trying to make in my roundabout way is that the universe always has opportunities and experiences that are there for us, right? They're for all of us. They're for anyone who's out there. And that it all serves to move us forward, right, on our journey, on our path. And maybe sometimes it's just to give us fuel, and like to be like, oh wow, that was such a beautiful experience. That gives me like, kind of permission or excitement about doing it again, or going out again, or meeting this person, or following up on this thing that just happened, right? Because it was so magical the way it happened. And then even like in everyday things, like going to the grocery store, if you look for them, it's possible that even in the mundane things, the mundane of the everyday, there may be magic there too. Like that just creates some excitement. I'm not going to go too far into it being like super spiritual or anything like that, or metaphysical. I believe in those things, and I experience them, but that's for everyone to find on their own. I'm not going to try to convince you of that. So, but the point is to allow yourself to go out, allow yourself to go have experiences by yourself that you are inspired to go have. Like if you get an impulse, like I should tune into that, or how YouTube might show you lots of different things, other videos you might want to watch. Sometimes like real valuable things will show up there that you never would have found if you'd even thought to start looking for them, right? So trusting in that magic is pretty special, I think. And it really fuels my life. It gives me so much joy, so much excitement, and so much reason for being, right? For continuing on, for doing the work that I do. Because sometimes I don't get any feedback on what I'm doing right away. Like if I'm creating something, or I'm in the studio, or I'm working on a video editing or something like that, like no one's seeing that to give me feedback that goes, yes, that's so awesome, Gabrielle, keep going, I love this. No, instead I've just got my eyes and my screen and my heart, that is in my brain, right? These are it's me, my brain, my heart, that's watching what it is, or looking at what it is I'm creating. And so this trio, is it a trio? My brain, my heart, my eyes. I mean, I can start breaking it down. Okay, we're talking about mind. Are we talking about brain? Are we talking about spirit? Are we talking about perception? Are we talking about vision? Are we talking about intuition? Like, it gets really big. The point is that when we go out of our comfort zones, when we go out of the house, when we go out of the studio, when we go out into the world, more magic can happen on a walk, at a restaurant, at the market, at a performance, at a movie, and so always like to be there looking open to, it's not like you're a detective and it's like, oh, I got to find the thing. It's not like that. It's more like there's a reason I was drawn to be here. And eventually that reason will make itself known. I guess that's the simplest way of putting it. Anyway, I find that very fascinating and very energy giving. Like it's real fuel for me. Okay. So that's one thing. Now, the other thing is, I kind of wanted to catch you up a little bit on what all has been happening since a month ago on the 8th, which was the last time I did a Thriving Live. That was episode 34. And this is episode 35. So I've been doing a lot of things. I've had the great privilege of creating a soundscape for a video installation inside the Hancock Shaker Village round stone barn. It's the only round stone barn in all of the United States, possibly the world, but actually I don't know. Nevertheless, it's a beautiful space, and it was a beautiful collaboration with a good friend of mine, Joe Wheaton, and another sound artist that I love working with, my dear friend Karen Cellini. And so we created this soundscape to go in to the roundstone barn with the animals that are there for the holiday, Hancock holiday nights or something, I think it's called. And Joe Wheaton created all of these amazing light installations and color and patterns and things that are happening out throughout the whole, I wouldn't call it a compound, but the whole Hancock Shaker Village. It was a village, right? In New Lebanon. I think it's New Lebanon, New York. So very close to us in the Berkshires. So that took a bunch of time and real focused effort, because we had a very, very short time frame to create this work, to conceive of it, to figure out how to do it, and to mix and create and all of that. And the amazing thing is I actually created the majority of the soundtrack using a device called PlantWave. And you may have seen it on the internet. It's showing up in a lot of Instagram ads these days and different places. Anyway, my beloved lover gifted it to me, I think for my birthday, actually. And I finally started playing around with it for the occasion of doing the soundtrack, the soundscape. And so it takes movement and very subtle changes that happen within a plant's leaf or stem or whatever it is, and moves that through to create sound. And you can choose different sound sets, right? So we created this beautiful soundscape of music, instruments that sound just amazing together, very kind of ethereal in places, a little more dramatic and like, oh, what's going to happen, anticipatory kind of feel, and voices and singing. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, so that was one of the things. I also had the pleasure and privilege of speaking with Mary Campbell Case in front of, as a public talk with mainly for women, but also men. And it was about mining pleasure for greater joy and resilience. And particularly useful this time of year when many of us are super busy preparing for, family and holidays and gift giving and, paying the big heating bills and stuff like that come in at this time as well. So remembering to make sure we find ways to, kind of like what we did at the beginning, remember to slow down and tap into ourselves, our inner self, our being, without doing, right? So just like settling in, giving ourselves just moments of rest or pleasure or joy or delight, and it can come in all forms, which you've heard me talk about before on this show. So that was great fun. That was also earlier this month, at the beginning of the month. And then also my beloved partner and I went to Art Basel in Miami Beach, kind of last minute. We were vacillating, like, do we want to go? Yes, we really want to go, but we've just been traveling in November. I think it was November, October. It was October, the end of October. And anyway, it was just feeling like maybe that's too much to do, but we were also both feeling like drawn to go. And plus my partner had a conference that he could go to in another part of Florida. So we decided to go, and of course, allowing ourselves to go out and do the things we're drawn towards, we're drawn to this. We don't know why exactly. And then all this magic happens, like all of these great connections, these beautiful humans that we get to meet, and feels like really beautiful old friends, even though we just met them, and connecting with other people, connecting with people from our trip to Antarctica, running into people from Art Yard. I mean, it was just the two directors, Jill Carney and Elsa Moran, and it was just incredible, like so many beautiful things. I felt like I spent the whole time making art. I was looking at art. I was making art. We were just spontaneously filming, using our cameras to record movement in the dark on the beach. And then the day we left Florida, the day just early morning before our flight home, we got out to the beach on Amelia Island and shot some more. We recorded a whole bunch more with me in the dress, going into the sea and coming out of the sea and crawling along the beach. And it was just magnificent. I mean, the temperature of the water was incredible, and the air and the sunrise, of course, because we're facing east. It was just so gorgeous, so magical. And I'd say of all of the incredible things, which would take me, few hours to share with you, all the incredible things that happened on that trip, the one thing that really made it incredibly special for me was we were staying at a Ritz-Carlton because that's where my partner's company was putting him up, and that's where the conference was. And so it was lovely. And I was having a meal by myself while he was doing his conference networking and all that kind of thing. And I met my servers named Kara, and I just busied myself, like I was saying about going to Allium, writing and thinking and enjoying a really good meal, and just enjoying myself. And at one point she came up and she was like, "Are you a writer?" Like, but kind of like nervous to ask. And I was like, "I do a lot of writing. Yeah, I do a lot of writing. And I'm also a visual and performance artist." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And that was kind of the end of the conversation about writing. Then a whole bunch of other things happened, and my partner came, we went on our way, and we did all the things that we needed to do. And then 2 nights later, the night before we left, we were having dinner again, and she came up to me as we were arriving. She's like, "Oh, you came back." I was like, "Yeah, it was so lovely." She's like, "Oh, good, thank you," blah, blah, blah. So then we went and sat, and we didn't have her as our server. She was running other tables. So at a certain point later in the night, she was at the sort of the waitress stand where they're like tallying up the bills or running the checks for people and stuff like that, fairly nearby us. And I was telling my partner about this little conversation that we'd had and wondering about it. Like, maybe she's a writer, maybe she's writing, maybe she wants to be a writer. Who knows? Like, there's something about that was not conveyed. So we called her over, and we were just talking with her a little bit and said, Kara, are you a writer? And she's like, well, no, I mean, I like to write. I used to like to write. And, that kind of like, people say that a lot to me about being an artist. They're like, no, I can't call myself an artist, thinking that the only way they can call themselves an artist is if they're making a living on it or not, which in my book is not what makes a person an artist or not. Yeah, by any means, actually. So my partner, Dan, he's just has the biggest heart. He's like, Kara, you should be writing. Yeah, you should write. Writing's really good. And the best way to do it is, just do it every day, create a practice. And then he started telling her about the app I told him about, which is online, 750words.com, I think it is. And the idea is just to have a place to write. It's not for the public. It's not a blog. It's not, nobody else can read your stuff, but it can track that you have written 3 days in a row or 2 days in a row, and you hit your 750 word mark. And it tracks all the words you've written over time. It tells you kind of the theme, the overall themes and topics you're talking about, what kind of mood you're in, perhaps, just judging by the words you're using in your writing. So he was sharing that, and we were talking about how much fun it is to use it. And he's like, yeah, writing's a really good thing to do. You should do it, Kara, if you're driven to do it. And she's like, okay, yeah, nice. He's like, no, I mean you, Kara, you should be writing. And it was just like, it was so moving. It was just like, you could see it land, like, oh, you mean me? You mean me? I'm like, yeah, whatever you have to say, it's meant to be heard. Say it. Right. It's so important. And so it was just like, that was pretty much the crux of the conversation right there. No more to it, not like, what kind of writing do you do? What do you want to do? Nothing like that. That was pretty much the crux of the conversation. And then she went off to do her work. And then I could see her continuing to do the, tallying the checks printing out checks for customers and stuff. And she just had the biggest smile on her face. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. It's really amazing. Like, it's so moving to see, like, every time this happens in my work, like, and that's what I love about my work, is that it's about seeing people, and it's about hearing them and understanding them, and the power that has for a person, like the gift of that, to be seen and to be heard and to be understood and to be celebrated for that, encouraged, for them to go towards their dream, like, just keep moving towards it. It can be a long, slow crawl to get to that dream and have it manifested. But if you don't even take a single step towards it, you'll never get there. It'll just never be there for you. But the single steps add up to miles, right? And you see progress eventually. And the universe hears and sees and understands what you're up to, and can draw you forward. It can provide you with beautiful opportunities that you never would have expected if you hadn't listened to your heart's desire and moved toward the dream. So, so beautiful. It's just really great. Okay, so that leads to the other thing I wanted to mention is, like, yeah, like, move towards what it is you desire, your dreams. Even if you think, it's only for other people, or, you know, you don't have it in you, or whatever. If it's a desire, it's a dream to write or to act or to create $1 million company, none of these things will happen overnight, right? That's obvious. Like, you're just not like, I'm a wait server one day and haven't been writing, and then boom, the next day I'm a, you know, published author, right? It just cannot physically happen that way. So my advice is move towards it and invest the time in yourself, invest in your dream. And that doesn't mean always with money, right? A lot of things are available for free everywhere, libraries, communities, the internet, of course, tons of stuff for free. Yes, you can also purchase things and take programs and take courses and pay money for them. And if you're able to, and you feel really strongly that this will serve you, then go for it. And take breaks from doing that also, and create your own discipline, your own time to integrate what you've learned, to practice it, to find your own way, to find your own routine that works for you. Instead of, like, a lot of people get caught up with like, oh, I need one more certification, I need one more degree, I need one more course, I need one more this. It's like, no. You need to be doing the painting in the studio. You need to be doing the writing every morning or in the nighttime or whenever it is. You need to be, you know, doing your workouts if you're looking to get fit. Whatever it is that the dream is that you desire requires time. And it may require money, but not always. And the other thing is that sometimes people feel like, oh, I don't have the right equipment. Like, oh, that's such a lame excuse for not doing something. That's one that just drives me bananas, because it's like, you can create anything with what you have. I mean, it's possible to create things with low-grade equipment, and it's not going to negate your opportunities, because it's the vision and the articulation of the vision, not the equipment, not the lighting, not, you know what I'm saying? Like, so really check yourself. If you're telling yourself, oh, I just need this, or I just need that, or I just need to do one more thing, or I can't do it because of that. Those are all excuses. Those are all signs of resistance. And that will keep you from your dream. So just, you can acknowledge it and say, oh, there's a thought, there's a judgment, there's an opinion, and yet I still want to go there. So I'm just moving forward there. I don't have to have anything. I don't have to let anything stop me. You know what I'm saying? Don't let anything stop you. So, one more thing. This session is definitely going longer than I expected it would, but that tends to be how I roll on the Thriving Live show. One more thing. Okay. I'm just looking at my notes here. There are a few things, but one of them is not really relevant, so I won't include that one. But this one is. Okay, so one of the greatest things I've ever used to manifest what I want in my life, right? Even if they're kind of crazy, wacko, very unrealistic things, excuse me, is a form of basically visualizing. And I was doing this before The Secret and the movie and the laws of attraction and all that stuff were coming out, and people were being told how to do things. But I want to try to give you an experience here, if possible. Okay, so if you take a few minutes, this won't be long, just take a few moments and imagine yourself sitting on a sandy beach, anywhere you desire, whatever your favorite dream location would be, dream vacation. And it's just you right now. Like you could have arrived with your lover and other people and all that stuff, but really I want you to get your own personal sense of yourself in that space, in that place. Okay, so imagine yourself on a warm sandy beach and the temperature is just right and the air smells divine and the waves are just coming in. The water is like this gorgeous blue sea green and the waves are gentle and the sky is clear with just like the most beautiful light clouds coming through. Maybe there are palm trees, who knows? I don't know what you're imagining, but allow it to be like the most sumptuous, dreamy vacation or spot, sunny beach location. We'll just go for a sunny beach because it's easy right now, I think, for many of us. So you can picture yourself being on the beach, right? And now using your own eyes as though you're in your body on the beach, rather than seeing yourself from above or from behind or whatever, seeing you sitting in a chair on the beach or on a towel on the beach or whatever. No, see what your eyes would see from where you would be sitting or lying down, lounging on this beach, right? So you might see the sky in front of you, you might see the ocean in front of you, you might see the beach in front of you, you might see people walking along the beach or windsurfing out on the waves, right? Allow yourself to also smell the sea salt air, right? Smell it. Imagine it from that seat where you are on the beach. Just smelling it in, right? Maybe you can even taste the salt on your lips from swimming in the ocean, or maybe you were just having a pina colada or some kind of icy drink, and you can taste it. You can feel the coldness of the glass in your hand even. So what are the body sensations you have? Like, I feel the heat of the sand on my toes and with my heels digging into the sand and so soft and warm. And I feel the heat of the sun on my body. I feel the coldness of the glass in my hand, right? This is all just visualizing and feeling into the whole experience, allowing yourself to feel the whole experience as if it's done, right? And let's see, what you see, what you smell, what you feel in your body, what you taste, what you hear, voices, the sound of the waves coming in and going out, laughter, maybe music, who knows, like all these things, just allow them to be like, this is your ideal place. This is your most sublime experience for a vacation, a rest, a time to just go relax, right? So just allow yourself to be in that for a moment, taking a few breaths and just enjoying the smell of the sea air, feeling all these feelings and these experiences, and just being like, oh, that's delicious, right? That's so delicious. You just created this whole world in your head and experienced it as it is done. And so it is, just as you desire it to be, right? So my point here is that typically when we ask a person to imagine themselves on a beach or in their favorite place, they can go there immediately, right? So I asked you to imagine yourself on a sunny, warm beach, right? And then we described what it looked like and felt like and the heat of the sun and all that. Now, did you get bogged down in your mind with like the travel from home and all the logistics that you'd have to figure out in order to get there? Or were you able to just jump ahead and be there? My guess is that you're able to jump ahead and be there, right? That's the power of our imagination when we allow it to be free and move in a direction that we're inviting it to go in. So this is true. This is a tool that is so effective for getting you where you desire to be, right? And the tricky part is to not allow our brains to try to figure out all of the logistics to get us there. And also to entertain our brain's reasons for how that would be impossible, right? Oh, first you have to have this, or I have to win the lottery, or I have to do that, or then I have to figure out what to do with my children in order for me to have this, and then I have to get a flight, and I have to take time off from work. We can create a million things to think about that prevent us from enjoying that beautiful feeling of that experience on the beach, the imagined experience on the beach, right? And the point here is that for me in the past, many, many times, I've had a vision of what I've wanted, just like that beach scene. But in other cases, it was like, I want to go live in Rome and be in this particular artist's loft building and in an artist's loft that is just mine for a period of X number of months. And I want to create work there and that, right? And so I could have easily talked myself out of that as being a possibility, to just drop it, not even think about it. Straight off the bat, just say that's unrealistic. I could have gotten stuck with like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? I can't even pay my rent. How am I going to do that? How am I going to pay rent there and here and da da da? But instead, I spent more time. I mean, some of those logistics did have to be worked out eventually. But the key thing was allowing myself to experience, imagine fully what it would feel like once I had arrived there, once I had obtained the goal and really been able to arrive there and enjoy the experience just as I was hoping it to be, just as I was wanting it to be. It's like, yes, I walk into this space and it's mine and I get to use it however I wish for a period of 2 months. And I get to create this work for this exhibition and I'm doing this and I go to the market and I get the food and I prepare the food at the studio and all the things, right? Like all the desirable things, the parts of the dream or vision or whatever you want to call it in its experiential form, right? Like, what do I smell? What do I see? What do I hear? What am I touching, feeling, handling, moving? Am I going upstairs, downstairs? Do I hear the doors? Those kinds of things. More time on those kinds of thoughts and sensations, really allowing myself to feel into being there than the logistics. And listening to my heart, or the universe, who knows, might say, hey, you might want to reach out to so-and-so. They might be able to help you with that. And I might shrug it off, or I might go, oh yeah, good idea. And whether I do it or right away or not, I might get that inclination again because I didn't do it yet. And then maybe again, until it's like, yes, I do it. Step 1 is done. Yes, there's a place. I'm going to put you in touch with the person. I think there's this place up on the 3rd floor or whatever it was. So all that to say that no matter what it is you wish to achieve, whatever your dream is, that the really most valuable step in creating that is allowing yourself to feel into what it would feel like once it's all complete. Once you're in the middle of that glorious moment that you experience. Of course, athletes do this all the time, right? They see themselves doing the race. They also see themselves bursting through the finish line, through that ribbon. And then they might see themselves on the podium, like accepting the gold medal, right? Or the trophy or whatever it is. And they're like spending a lot of time in that part of it while they're doing the work to train, while they're doing all the things like taking care of the bodies and drinking the, enough liquid and protein shakes and all the things that they do. But continuing to see and feel and just like vibrate with that, like, oh my God, like feel that energy of like going through the finish line like that. And for me, it was like, feel that energy of being in that loft and having meals with friends in Rome and drinking red wine and, going to the market and talking to people in Italian and all of those things, So the reason I'm talking about this is for all the people that have dreams like Kara, who loved writing in the past and seems to still have an interest in writing, might not be giving herself permission to do so. To allow yourself the permission to do the thing that you dream of doing, to do it, to imagine doing it, to imagine the best feel good parts of that, so that there's a reason to move forward with it. There's fuel there to move forward with it. So yeah, that's what came to me to share today on Thriving Live. And that's a key element of thriving, actually. A couple of key elements, right? The first was to allow yourself to go out into the world and see what magic the universe has waiting there for you, delivering opportunities or delivering people or connections or experiences or inspiration, or like a work of art that moves you, or a conversation that totally changes your mind and expands you into something so brilliant you never could have imagined on your own. So that was the first part. Go out, allow yourself to have experiences, simple experiences. Allow yourself to discover the mysteries and magic the universe has there for you. So show up, go out. The second thing is imagine and feel into all the deliciousness of your dream. So maybe it is for, maybe for Kara, for example, it would be like, oh, my book was just published. And now I see myself signing the books in a bookstore with the book launch, right? And people are coming up to me saying, thank you so much for your book. It's really changed my life, right? Like, how awesome is that, right? Can you imagine that? Can you feel that? Can you like see the bookshelves around you and the people in the line and feel the pen in your hand and the books and the pages that you're writing, and you're asking for like, how would you like me to make this out? And it's kind of fun. I mean, no, it is really fun. It's really fun. So I guess I'm spending a lot of time on this today because even though I know this has been my most valuable tool, I still don't always remember to use it. And I'm realizing like that hinders my development. By not using that tool, I'm hindering my development by trying to figure out all the hows and what ifs and things like that along the way to getting where I want to get, and to having that, to experiencing the thing I really want to experience. I'm hindering getting to that experience. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just checking my notes one more time. Yeah, so That's it. That's it. So I guess, I mean, to share one more thing that is about my personal journey and where I wasn't doing this recently, like today, within these last few hours. And I was encouraged and told to actually do this for this whole last 5 days, is on like, my desire is to be really clear about the path that I'm on, and to know that that it is the right path in order for me to serve my purpose here on the planet. And sometimes I have this idea that, oh, it must mean that I am building this big business, and I'm going to have a big team, and we're going to generate millions of dollars every year, and we can donate hundreds of thousands of dollars every year because our business is so successful, right? And maybe that's how it's going to be done, but maybe not. And is that the dream? Is that the end point that I want to experience? Actually, it isn't. What are the end experiences? How do I want to feel when I know that I'm on the right path? How would my life be different? How would my daily experiences and actions be different if I knew that I was on the right path, doing the right thing, and that I could trust my heart, my intuition, my guidance, And so, yeah, it's an exercise. It's a very different, it's an exercise. And I think where I'm struggling with it right now in my life, in terms of like see, feel, hear, taste, all the things about what it would be like once I'm in that place of knowing, and that I am clear about these things I want to create, I guess. So it's different so this is where it's tricky for me in this particular case. There are a lot of projects and places that are easy for me to imagine, those places and projects being complete, and in the moments of like, yes, we did it, oh my God, we're celebrating this, and celebrating all the steps up to them. And then this exercise that I'm a little challenged by this week is like not an end place. It's not a tangible place, really. So it's even more nebulous, I guess, in a way. Anyway, so we'll see how it goes. I am working on that, and I'm excited to share with you the ways that visualizing has worked as an incredible tool to help me build this thriving life that I have. And also, thank you for letting me share where I am still challenged by it. Like this is a different level of manifesting that I haven't yet tried before. I haven't really succeeded in. Well, I haven't really attempted it in this way. So it's a new thing for me. So who knows? Maybe in the next week or month or year or decade, I'll be able to share with how it went and what I learned from it. In the meantime, thank you for being with me. I am enormously grateful if you made it through this entire episode. It's an hour and 10 minutes already. And usually they're intended to be around 30, 40 minutes. I'm just so excited about what's to come and what's being created here. And I hope you are too. I hope you are excited about what you're creating. I hope you are excited about maybe something that was shared here that's inspiring. And please share it with me if there is something right? That you're a takeaway for you from this time together. For 2023, I am planning on being very clear about what I wish to do with this podcast or show or whatever you want to call it, the Thriving Live. It may include doing interviews. I may do it more like a podcast where I'm interviewing, or I might do it about, having a whole like plan in place for each week. This is what I'm talking about, and try to shorten them up or not. It sort of depends on what it is that I'm guided to do, and dedicating the time to hearing and thinking and visualizing what that might be. So I would love your input if you have any. And I am grateful for you to be here with me, to listen, to comment, any of the things that you are doing in your life, in the world. I'm super grateful. Anyway, I send you loads and loads of love. You can find me on Instagram, Gabrielle Senza Studio, Invisibility Lab, Walk Unafraid, We Walk Unafraid. And I just started a new one called Antarctica Temporalis, which will be all about the massive 1 million person climate action project that I'm doing that involves my ephemeral art and collaborative efforts with lots and lots of people, tracking and empowering the climate actions that millions of people will be taking. So I'm very excited to be here with you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful holiday. If I don't tune in beforehand or whatever, I hope you are happy, safe, healthy, and inspired. I love you.